My beloved child, pause your breath for a moment and listen closely, because what is unfolding right now is not random, not delayed, and not accidental. Heaven is unusually quiet, yet something massive has already been set in motion. $1 million miracle check has been quietly written to your name, and it did not happen the way you imagined. It happened behind the scenes, in places you were never allowed to see. This is why Archangel Michael stood still in awe, and why he has ordered you to stop everything and receive this message immediately. Hear this clearly. This is not about luck, and it is not about chance. It is about timing. Divine timing. You were not late. You were protected. If this had reached you earlier, it would have crushed you. If it had come later, it would have missed its purpose. So heaven waited until your heart, your mind, and your spirit aligned. That alignment has just occurred. Something was authorized without noise. No announcement. No warning. No signal to the opposition. The signature was placed quietly. The seal was pressed gently. And the release was approved without delay. This is why Archangel Michael reacted the way he did, not because heaven is confused, but because the speed of this reversal stunned even the watchers. You may be wondering why things around you felt frozen, why conversations stalled, why plans paused, why doors neither opened nor closed. It was because heaven was intercepting something meant to exhaust you. The pause was not punishment. It was protection. And while you waited, heaven worked. Archangel Michael steps forward in this moment not with a sword raised, but with authority released. He says this plainly: stop striving. Stop explaining. Stop chasing what is already moving toward you. The command to stop everything is not to scare you. It is to realign you. You were about to make a move that would have taken you out of position. Heaven intervened just in time. This miracle does not arrive wrapped in chaos. It arrives wrapped in clarity. That is why you are being asked to watch, fully, attentively, without distraction. Because the way this blessing manifests will require discernment. It will look ordinary at first. It may come through paperwork, communication, approval, or an unexpected confirmation. But do not underestimate quiet miracles. The loud ones are often delayed. The quiet ones are already done. Understand this. The check is not only financial. The amount reflects restoration. It reflects compensation for delays you did not cause. It reflects provision for assignments you have not yet stepped into. Heaven never funds comfort alone. It funds calling. And what is coming to you carries responsibility, favor, and reach beyond what you planned. Archangel Michael is shocked not by the size, but by the speed. What was scheduled for later was pulled forward. What was held up by resistance was overridden by authority. This is what happens when endurance meets obedience. You kept showing up when nothing made sense. You kept believing when nothing moved. That consistency spoke louder than any request. Right now, heaven is watching how you respond. Not with fear, not with doubt, but with stillness. There is a reason you were told to stop. When you stop striving, you can hear. When you can hear, you can recognize the moment. And when you recognize the moment, you do not miss the door. This message found you because you are marked for instruction, not just information. If this was not for you, it would not have reached you. Others scrolled past. Others ignored the nudge. You did not. That alone tells you something about your alignment. Let this settle into your spirit. You are not waiting on heaven. Heaven hath been waiting on you to be ready. Ready to receive without guilt. Ready to steward without fear. ready to walk forward without shrinking. Do not rush after this message ends. Sit with it. Breathe. Let your spirit adjust to the weight of what has already been approved. The next movement will require calm obedience, not emotional reaction. Archangel Michael stands guard over what is yours. Nothing meant for you will be intercepted. Nothing authorized for your name can be reassigned. The ink has dried. The order has gone out. And heaven is unusually attentive to your next step. Stay attentive. What unfolds next will confirm everything you just heard. My precious one, now listen with a deeper awareness, because what happens next explains why this miracle was hidden for so long. There was a reason heaven moved quietly. There was a reason no signal was sent ahead of time. You were being watched, not by people but by systems, patterns, and cycles that once had access to your energy. If they had known what was coming, they would have tried to interfere. That is why silence was your covering. Archangel Michael reveals that this check was not delayed by lack, but by strategy. Heaven does not rush outcomes that must arrive intact. What is coming to you had to bypass envy, manipulation, and premature exposure. You have already lived through seasons where people sensed something on you and tried to attach themselves to it. Heaven remembers. This time, access is restricted. You may have noticed that certain connections faded without explanation. Conversations stopped making sense. Familiar spaces felt uncomfortable. That was not rejection. It was repositioning. Heaven was thinning your environment so the blessing would not be drained the moment it arrived. Some people could celebrate you, but not steward with you. So God removed them quietly. This is why Archangel Michael issued a command, not a suggestion. He says, do not announce what is still being delivered. The miracle is real, but it is still in transit through earthly channels. What is authorized in heaven must still manifest on earth. And until it fully lands, your peace is your protection. Hear this clearly. You are not meant to chase this miracle. You are meant to receive it. Chasing creates noise. Receiving creates alignment. The moment you stop striving, things begin to move toward you naturally. That is the sign you are in the correct position. Some of you are feeling an unusual mix of excitement and heaviness. That is because this blessing carries responsibility. It is not just provision. It is assignment. It will require wisdom, restraint, and timing. Heaven trusts you with this because you learned patience the hard way. You did not get everything you asked for immediately, and that trained your spirit. Archangel Michael is not only guarding the release, he is guarding your response. He knows how quickly fear can disguise itself as urgency. That is why this message is slowing you down. You are being trained to move with clarity, not adrenaline. Now pause here for a moment. If this message is resonating, if something in your spirit is quietly agreeing, this is the moment to engage. Like this message so it reaches others who are waiting for confirmation. Share it with someone who has been questioning their delay. Leave a comment declaring that you are ready to receive with wisdom. And if you have not yet subscribed, do it now. Not out of habit, but alignment. You are joining a space where messages arrive on time. This is how you stay connected when the next instruction comes. There is more unfolding, and you will want to hear what happens next, because the way this miracle confirms itself will surprise you. Returning to the message, Archangel Michael shows that this check carries restoration for areas you thought were permanently reduced. Some of you adjusted your lifestyle downward, telling yourself it was humility. Heaven calls it survival mode. That season is ending. Not so you can indulge, but so you can breathe again. You will notice opportunities presenting themselves without pressure, doors opening without forcing, people offering help without expecting a payment. These are signs that the flow has shifted. When heaven funds something, it also aligns cooperation around it. You not ignore the small confirmations. A message, a call, a document, a sudden favor. These are not coincidences. They are echoes of what has already been approved. The miracle speaks in whispers before it announces itself fully. Archangel Michael also warns against revisiting old fears. Do not rehearse past losses. Do not measure this season by previous disappointments. This is a new authorization, not a continuation of an old cycle. Comparing will distort your discernment. You may feel prompted to clean, organize, or simplify. That is not random. You are making room. Physical order reflects spiritual readiness. As you prepare outwardly, inward clarity will increase. Heaven is not asking you to prove anything. You have already been seen. The endurance you displayed when nothing was happening was the qualification. That is why this miracle arrived quietly. It is not a reward for noise, but for faithfulness. Stay grounded. Stay grateful. Stay observant. You are closer than you think. The next unfolding will reveal how this blessing transitions from promise to manifestation, and why timing matters more than amount. My chosen one, something deeper is being revealed now, and it explains why your spirit has felt unusually alert these past days. Heaven hath been testing your sensitivity, not your patience. There is a difference. Visions waits. Sensitivity perceives. And you have been perceiving shifts before evidence appeared. That is not imagination. That is alignment. Archangel Michael steps closer in this moment and speaks with clarity, not urgency. He says that the miracle check was written in response to obedience you no longer even remember. The decision you made when no one was watching. A time you chose integrity over escape. The moment you walked away even though staying would have been easier. Heaven recorded that. You're the Dragati. But heaven never did. This is why the release feels sudden. From your perspective, it looks unexpected. From heaven's perspective, it is overdue compensation. You were owed this long before you knew how to ask for it. The silence you endured was not absence. It was accumulation. Some of you wondered if your prayers were reaching past the ceiling. Others questioned whether obedience even mattered anymore. Archangel Michael reveals that the delay was never about approval. It was about capacity. What is coming requires a version of you that does not panic when doors open quickly. Heaven waited until your spirit learned how to remain steady. This miracle is arriving without drama because drama is no longer permitted access to you. You have outgrown chaos. That is why peace became your default before provision arrived. This is the correct order. Pay attention now, because this part matters deeply. When this blessing manifests, it will challenge your old identity. You may feel unworthy at first. You may feel the urge to explain yourself. Resist that. You do not owe explanations for answered prayers. Silence will protect you more than justification ever could. Archangel Michael warns against one thing only: shrinking back. Sometimes people delay blessings not because heaven withholds, but because they hesitate to step forward. When opportunity presents itself, do not over-spiritualize your fear. Courage will be required. Simple, quiet courage. There is also a transfer happening internally. Your mindset is being upgraded to match your next level. This is why old habits feel uncomfortable. Why distractions no longer satisfy. Why shallow conversations exhaust you. You are being tuned for stewardship. Understand this clearly. The miracle check is not the end. It is the beginning of a new responsibility. What you do after receiving will matter more than the receiving itself. Heaven is entrusting you with influence, even if it starts small. How you handle the first release determines the next one. Archangel Michael is not shocked because of the amount. He is shocked because of the assignment attached to it. You are about to fund something that restores others. You are about to become an answer to prayers you never heard spoken aloud. This is why humility will keep you safe. Do not announce prematurely. Do not seek validation. Let results speak. Let peace guide. Let gratitude anchor you. Till if you are sensing an instruction coming soon, a nudge, a knowing, do not ignore it. Write it down. Pray over it. Move when clarity settles, not when emotion spikes. Now receive this truth. Heaven does not make mistakes with names. If this miracle carries your name, it cannot land on someone else. No replacement. No route. No reduction. What is yours will recognize you. Your season of quiet endurance has produced loud authority in the spirit. You may not feel powerful, but you are positioned. And positioning matters more than feeling. Before this message transitions, receive this activation with faith. Type "I receive divine compensation" in the comments if this message is confirming what your spirit already knew. Blessing code 864 has just been released over your obedience and endurance. And now hear this sacred invitation, because it flows directly from what was just spoken. When I speak these words, I am not asking for support for a channel. I am calling for partners in assignment. Every seed sown here becomes light released into someone else's darkness. As the word says, I hear God telling you, those who water will themselves be watered. When you give through super thanks, membership, or PayPal, link in the description, you are placing oil in a lamp that guides lost hearts. This is not donation. This is obedience meeting opportunity. Heaven is watching who responds when the invitation aligns with the message. I speak blessing over every giver now. May your harvest recognize your voice and come quickly. Do not hesitate. Obey the nudge and release the seed now. Beloved one, as this message continues to unfold, a deeper layer of understanding is being unlocked within you. What you are stepping into now is not simply a moment of receiving, but a season of discernment. Heaven is training your inner ear. The reason you feel more aware, more selective, more inwardly alert is because noise will no longer be your guide. Precision will. Archangel Michael reveals that once a blessing is authorized, a period of observation begins. Not to test you, but to protect you. Heaven watches how you move when anticipation rises. This is where many people misstep, not because they lack faith, but because they confuse movement with momentum. You are being taught the difference. There will be an urge to tell someone, to explain what you sense is coming, to seek reassurance that you are not imagining things. Resist that urge. What is forming around you right now needs privacy to mature. Just as seeds grow best underground, this miracle needs silence to fully develop. The less you explain, the safer it remains. Some of you may feel an unexpected calm settling over you. Not excitement, not anxiety. Calm. That is the clearest sign that this is divinely ordered. Chaos always demands attention. Peace never does. If peace is leading, you are aligned. Archangel Michael shows that certain opportunities will soon appear almost casually. They will not announce themselves as breakthroughs. They will arrive disguised as conversations, invitations, or decisions that feel small. Do not dismiss them. Heaven often uses ordinary moments to unlock extraordinary outcomes. You may also notice resistance fading in areas that once felt blocked. People who delayed responding may suddenly become cooperative. Processes that stalled may begin moving without explanation. This is not coincidence. Resistance loses authority when heaven overrides the timeline. Be aware, though, that clarity will also require restraint. Not every open door is yours to walk through. Discernment will be more valuable than enthusiasm. Ask yourself not just, "Can I do this?" but "Is this aligned with where I am being led?" Alignment is the currency of this season. Archangel Michael cautions against returning to old coping mechanisms. When stress rises, you may feel tempted to distract yourself or overwork. Do not. Stillness is part of your assignment now. When you pause, you hear better. When you hear better, you move accurately. There is also a subtle shift happening in how you view yourself. You are no longer defining your worth by struggle. That identity is dissolving. You are stepping into a phase where provision is not proof of value, but a tool for purpose. This internal shift is essential. Without it, the blessing would feel heavy. With it, the blessing feels natural. Some of you are realizing that what you once begged for would no longer satisfy you. That realization is maturity. Heaven does not give outdated gifts. What is coming fits who you have become, not who you were. Archangel Michael speaks of stewardship again, not as pressure, but as trust. Heaven trusts you because you have learned how to hold things without letting them define you. You lost without losing yourself. It taught you resilience. And now you will gain without losing humility. There may be moments ahead where you question whether to act or wait. In those moments, return to peace. Peace will not rush you. Peace will not confuse you. Peace will feel steady even when the path is unfamiliar. Let peace confirm your steps. You are also being reminded to guard your thoughts. Doubt may try to revisit old narratives, whispering that this is too good to be true. Recognize that voice for what it is, an echo of a past season that no longer has authority. Do not argue with it. Simply do not entertain it. Archangel Michael assures that what is being released now cannot be reversed. It has passed every checkpoint. It hath been signed, sealed, and authorized. The only remaining factor is your readiness to walk forward without fear. Take note of dreams, impressions, and repeated thoughts. These are not random. Heaven often communicates in patterns before it speaks plainly. Write them down. Reflect without obsession. Clarity will come gently. You are entering a phase where gratitude will multiply what you receive. Gratitude keeps your heart open. Expectation keeps your eyes open. Together, they create awareness. As this message settles, allow yourself to rest in the knowing that you are not behind. You are not catching up. You are right on time. Everything that was withheld for a reason. Everything that is coming with intention. Remain steady. Remain quiet. Remain receptive. The next movement will bring further confirmation, and with it, instruction that requires confidence rather than caution. What is unfolding is not fragile. It is established, and you are ready to carry it forward. My beloved one, a quiet strengthening is taking place within you right now, and it is important that you recognize it. This is not excitement building. This is confidence settling. Excitement fluctuates, but confidence anchors. Heaven is anchoring you because the next phase will require steadiness more than enthusiasm. Archangel Michael reveals that once a blessing is authorized and protected, the focus shifts from arrival to sustainability. Many receive, but few are taught how to remain. You are being taught how to remain. Remain grounded when increase comes. Remain discerning when attention increases. Remain humble when influence expands. This is why your spirit has been drawn toward simplicity lately. Simplicity preserves clarity. You may notice that your tolerance for confusion has decreased. Situations that once drained you now feel unacceptable. This is not arrogance. It is alignment. When your capacity increases, chaos becomes more noticeable. Heaven is refining your environment so your energy is not wasted on things that no longer serve your assignment. There is also a recalibration happening in your expectations. You are no longer fantasizing about rescue. You are preparing for responsibility. That shift matters. Rescue thinking waits to be saved. Responsibility thinking prepares to steward. What is coming to you does not rescue you from life. It equips you to lead within it. Archangel Michael shows that some people will be surprised by your calm when this blessing begins to manifest. They may expect emotional reactions, dramatic announcements, or visible celebration. But what they will see instead is quiet assurance. That is because your celebration already happened in the unseen. When you cried alone. When you prayed without answers. When you chose to keep going. That is where the breakthrough was processed. Do not feel pressured to perform gratitude for others. Heaven sees your heart. Gratitude expressed in private carries more weight than gratitude displayed in public. Let your life speak on your behalf. There may be a moment soon where you are asked to decide quickly. Not rushed but promptly. This is where preparation meets opportunity. Trust what has been built in you. You will recognize the right choice because it will not feel chaotic. It will feel clear, even if it stretches you. Archangel Michael emphasizes again that fear of loss must not guide your decisions. You have lived in seasons where losing felt constant, and that trained you to hold tightly. This season asks you to trust differently. What is for you now will not disappear because you relax your grip. It is secured by authority greater than your effort. Be mindful of subtle temptations to overthink. Overthinking disguises itself as wisdom, but it often blocks intuition. You have learned enough. You have prayed enough. You have waited enough. When the moment comes, act with simplicity. There is also a healing taking place around your perception of worth. You are no longer equating value with exhaustion. Struggle is not your proof anymore. Ease does not mean compromise. Ease can be confirmation. If something flows without resistance, do not sabotage it by assuming it must be wrong. Archangel Michael speaks of rest not as an activity, but as trust. Rest is when you stop rehearsing worst-case scenarios. Rest is when you believe that what has been authorized will complete its course. You are allowed to rest now. Some of you may feel prompted to release old commitments, routines, or obligations. Do not feel guilty. Capacity has limits. Making room is not selfish. It is strategic. Heaven will not pour into a full vessel that refuses to empty outdated contents. You are also being prepared for visibility, even if it starts small. How you speak, how you listen, how you respond will be observed. Not judged but noted. Influence grows quietly before it becomes obvious. Archangel Michael assures that protection remains active around you. What once drained you will not return. What once distracted you will no longer hold your attention. You are being kept focused. Pay attention to moments of peace that arrive unexpectedly. Those are confirmations. Pay attention to doors that close without effort. Those are redirections. Nothing is random now. Everything is coordinated. As you move forward, let gratitude stay close, but let expectation lead. Expectation keeps you ready. Gratitude keeps you grounded. Together, they create balance. Do not measure progress by speed. Measure it by alignment. You are not late. You are not behind. You are not missing anything. You are exactly where you need to be for what is about to unfold. Archangel Michael stands watch, not because danger is near, but because value is present. Where value is present, guarding increases. That is what you are experiencing now. Remain open. Remain steady. The unfolding continues, and with it, further clarity that will strengthen your confidence even more. My beloved one, this is a turning point in how you understand movement. Until now, your life has been shaped by effort, by pushing, fixing, adjusting, and compensating. But heaven is shifting you into a different rhythm, one where movement is guided, not forced. This is subtle, and that is why many miss it. But you are being made aware because awareness is your protection. Archangel Michael reveals that what feels like slowing down is actually precision increasing. When things move quickly without clarity, mistakes happen. Heaven is not in a hurry now because nothing is being threatened. What is secure does not panic, and what is protected does not rush. You may notice that your intuition has become sharper. You sense when to speak and when to remain silent. You sense when to engage and when to step back. This is not indecision. This is discernment activating. Heaven is teaching you to trust what you sense before you see results. There is a reason distractions have lost their appeal. Things that once helped you escape no longer satisfy you. That is because you are no longer running from something. You are preparing for something. Preparation often feels quiet. It does not come with applause, but it carries authority. Archangel Michael speaks clearly about one thing. Do not downgrade what you are sensing just because others cannot see it yet. Vision always arrives before validation. If you wait for permission to believe, you will always arrive late. You are being asked to trust what has been revealed to you privately. At the same time, humility remains essential. Confidence does not mean announcing every thought. Strength does not mean correcting everyone. Sometimes the most powerful posture is listening while remaining unmoved. You are learning that now. This season will also test your consistency. Not through hardship, but through calm. Can you remain faithful when things are peaceful? Can you stay grounded when you are no longer desperate? Heaven is watching how you handle stability, because stability is what sustains increase. Archangel Michael shows that some people may begin to reappear, not because they have changed, but because they sense your shift. Be discerning. Access does not equal assignment. Not everyone who returns is meant to stay. You are allowed to choose peace over familiarity. You may also feel a renewed desire to give, to contribute, to support others. That is not obligation. It is overflow beginning to form. Overflow always starts internally before it manifests externally. Let generosity rise naturally, not from pressure. Now pause with me here for a moment. If this message is aligning with what you have been sensing, do not keep it to yourself. Like this message so it reaches others who need clarity in their waiting. Share it with someone who feels stuck between movement and stillness. Leave a comment declaring that you are moving with discernment, not fear. And if you have not yet subscribed, this is the moment to do it, because you are not here by accident. You are meant to receive what comes next. Hold on, because what follows will connect pieces you did not even realize were related. Returning to the message, Archangel Michael addresses something important: fear of missteps. You may worry that one wrong decision could undo everything. That fear is outdated. You are not walking on thin ice. You are standing on solid ground. Race corrects course when hearts remain aligned. This does not mean recklessness. It means confidence. You are allowed to trust that even if adjustments are needed, heaven will guide you. You are not alone in decision-making. Wisdom walks with you now. There is also an invitation to simplify your language. Speak less about problems. Speak more about direction. Words shape focus. Focus shapes experience. What you emphasize will expand. Choose wisely. Archangel Michael highlights rest again. Not physical rest alone, but mental rest. Stop rehearsing conversations that have not happened. Stop anticipating obstacles that have not appeared. Peace is not passive, it is intentional. You may soon receive confirmation through an unexpected source. Someone may say something that resonates deeply. A message may arrive at the exact moment you needed it. Recognize these as alignment markers. Heaven confirms its path in layers. Do not underestimate your growth. You have survived seasons that reshape you internally. That inner work is now becoming visible through external order. What once felt scattered is aligning. Archangel Michael assures that you are not behind schedule. You are on a different schedule, one that prioritizes longevity over speed. What lasts is built slowly and protected carefully. As this part settles, let go of the urge to control outcomes. Control is often disguised as responsibility, but true responsibility trusts the process while remaining attentive. You are attentive now. That is enough. Remain steady. Remain receptive. The unfolding continues, and the next layer will bring insight that strengthens your trust even further. My beloved one, there is a quiet maturity now shaping how you interpret everything around you. This is not something you forced. It is something that formed over time. You have crossed an internal threshold where you no longer react first, you observe. That shift alone tells heaven that you are ready for more than survival. You are ready for stewardship. Archangel Michael reveals that this season is not about acceleration, but about alignment deepening. Alignment is what keeps blessings from becoming burdens. Many people ask for increase without realizing that increase magnifies everything, strengths and weaknesses alike. Heaven waited until your inner foundation was stable enough to hold expansion without cracking. You may notice that your emotional responses are less extreme than before. Things that once triggered anxiety now feel manageable. Challenges still exist, but they no longer dominate your inner world. This is not numbness. This is mastery. You are learning how to stay centered even when circumstances fluctuate. There is also a refinement happening in your discernment of people. You are no longer impressed by words alone. Consistency matters to you now. Integrity matters. Energy matters. This is not judgment, it is wisdom. Access to you is becoming intentional, and that protects what is growing within you. Archangel Michael speaks of boundaries, not as walls, but as filters. You are not shutting people out. You are filtering what is allowed to influence you. This is necessary because influence shapes direction. The clearer your filters, the clearer your path. Some of you may feel moments of loneliness even while being surrounded by others. Do not misinterpret this. This is not isolation. It is transition. When your inner world shifts, your outer world takes time to catch up. New connections will come, but first, space must be created. Heaven is also teaching you how to listen beyond words. You are sensing intentions, not just statements. This ability will protect you from agreements that look good but lead nowhere. Trust what you sense. You have been trained through experience. Archangel Michael reassures you that what is unfolding does not depend on perfection. It depends on honesty. You are allowed to ask questions. You are allowed to pause. You are allowed to seek clarity. What you are not meant to do anymore is doubt your worthiness. There is a subtle but important shift happening in how you define success. It is no longer about proving anything. It is about alignment, peace, and impact. That redefinition matters because it keeps you grounded when recognition increases. You may soon notice that opportunities come with options, not pressure. Heaven respects your agency. You will not be forced into anything. The right choices will feel clear, even if they stretch you. Stretching does not mean strain. Strain drains. Stretching strengthens. Archangel Michael also highlights gratitude as a stabilizing force. Gratitude keeps your heart open without making you complacent. It allows you to receive without fear and give without depletion. Practice gratitude quietly. It does not need an audience. Some of you are being healed from the belief that struggle equals value. That belief kept you strong in hard seasons, but it cannot lead you into abundance. Abundance requires a different mindset, one that allows ease without guilt. You may find yourself enjoying moments without immediately wondering when they will end. That is growth. Presence is a sign of trust. Trust tells heaven that you are no longer bracing for loss. Archangel Michael assures you that nothing from your past disqualifies you from what is coming. Lessons were extracted. Wisdom was gained. The rest has been released. You do not need to carry old labels into a new season. There may be days when nothing dramatic happens. Do not interpret that as stagnation. Some of the most important shifts happen quietly, internally, without visible markers. Consistency and calm is still progress. You are also learning how to respond rather than react. Response comes from choice. Action comes from impulse. Choice gives you authority. Authority changes outcomes. Archangel Michael stands watch as you integrate these changes, not because you are fragile, but because you are valuable. Value attracts attention. Guarding increases where value grows. As this part settles, allow yourself to acknowledge how far you have come. Not with pride, but with awareness. Awareness keeps you grounded. Grounded people make wise decisions. Remain attentive to what feels aligned. Remain patient with what is still forming. You are not waiting anymore. You are preparing. And preparation is an active, powerful state. The unfolding continues, and the next movement will bring a deeper understanding of how your obedience connects to influence beyond your immediate view. My beloved one, this moment carries a weight that goes beyond personal breakthrough. What is unfolding now reaches further than your own life, and that is why heaven is speaking with such precision. You are standing at the intersection of blessing and influence, and the way you move from here will ripple outward in ways you may never fully see. Archangel Michael reveals that obedience always creates pathways for others, even when it looks private. When you chose to keep your heart soft in hard seasons, someone else was being spared despair. When you refused to become bitter, you unknowingly preserved hope for another soul. Heaven measures impact differently than earth. What felt small to you carried eternal weight. This is why the blessing attached to your name is not isolated. It is connected to assignments that bless others through you. You are not being elevated for display, but for distribution. Distribution of wisdom. Distribution of provision. Distribution of peace. That is why your heart had to be refined first. Influence without character destroys. Influence with humility restores. You may be sensing a growing responsibility, even before tangible change appears. That sense is accurate. Responsibility often arrives as awareness before it arrives as action. Heaven is letting you feel the weight gently so it does not overwhelm you later. Archangel Michael speaks of timing again, but this time in relation to others. Some people will encounter you at exactly the right moment because of the season you endured. Had you arrived earlier, you would not have understood them. And you arrived later, they would have given up. Your timing matters. There is also a caution here. Do not underestimate the power of consistency. Grand gestures are impressive, but steady presence transforms lives. You are being positioned as someone who can be relied upon, not just admired. Reliability is rare, and heaven honors it deeply. You may notice that your words carry more weight now. People listen differently. Conversations shift when you speak. This is not because you are louder, but because you are clearer. Clarity carries authority. Authority invites trust. Archangel Michael reassures you that you do not need to strive for influence. Influence will find you because of alignment. When heaven places weight on a life, it also places covering. You are not exposed. You are protected. Some of you may feel prompted to step into roles you once avoided. Teaching, leading, supporting, speaking. These prompts are not random. They are invitations. You are allowed to say yes gradually. Growth does not have to be abrupt to be powerful. At the same time, remain attentive to your inner life. Do not let outward expansion replace inward connection. The source of your strength is not activity, but intimacy with God. That intimacy must remain central. Archangel Michael highlights generosity again, not as obligation, but as overflow. When overflow begins, it looks like a desire to give without fear of lack. A desire is forming in you now. Let it mature naturally. You are also being freed from the need to be understood by everyone. Misunderstanding will no longer disturb your peace. When your approval comes from heaven, human opinions lose their grip. This freedom will protect your focus. There may be moments ahead when you question whether you are ready for what is unfolding. Remember this: readiness is not the absence of fear, but the presence of trust. You have trust now. It was built quietly, layer by layer. Archangel Michael assures that nothing entrusted to you will exceed the grace available to you. Grace scales with assignment. You will not be asked to carry what you cannot sustain. As this message reaches its peak, receive this activation with intention. Type "I am a vessel of blessing" in the comments if you receive this word with faith. Blessing code 3197 is now activated over your life, releasing clarity, provision, and influence aligned with God's purpose. And now, let this transition flow naturally, because this invitation is part of the same assignment. I hear God saying that as this message reaches you, light is being carried through you to others who are still in the dark. When you support this work through super thanks, membership, or PayPal, linked in the description, you are not giving to a channel, you are sowing into souls. Scripture comes alive as God declares, "Give, and it will be given back to you, pressed down, shaken together, and running over." This is a prophetic moment to act, not hesitate. What you release now becomes a river of provision flowing through countless lives. I bless every seed sown here, and I declare that your obedience will return to you multiplied. Do not delay. Step into this moment and release your support now. My beloved one, what you are entering now is a season where confirmation replaces confusion. Up to this point, much of what you carry was internal. Discernment, restraint, preparation, quiet growth. But now, heaven begins to allow external alignment to catch up with internal readiness. This is where things start to make sense without you forcing explanations. Archangel Michael reveals that there is a shift occurring in how situations respond to you. You are no longer pushing against resistance. Resistance is dissolving before you arrive. This is not because opposition vanished, but because authority increased. Authority does not argue. Authority simply stands, and other things adjust around it. You may begin to notice that outcomes feel clear. Decisions resolve faster. Conversations reach clarity without emotional exhaustion. This is a sign that you are operating from alignment rather than reaction. When alignment is present, complexity simplifies. There is also an important emotional recalibration taking place. You are learning how to experience joy without suspicion. In the past, good moments may have been followed by anxiety, as if waiting for something to go wrong. That pattern is breaking. You are being trained to remain present without bracing for loss. Archangel Michael speaks of trust. Not blind trust, but grounded trust. The kind that comes from evidence gathered over time. You have watched doors close that needed to close. You have watched protection intervene when you did not recognize danger. Those memories are becoming anchors now. They remind you that guidance has been consistent, even when outcomes were delayed. Some of you may feel a renewed sense of curiosity about the future. Not anxiety, but interest. But curiosity is healthy. It signals that hope has returned quietly. Hope does not shout. It waits patiently and grows steadily. You are also becoming more selective about what you give your energy to. This is not withdrawal, it is wisdom. Energy invested intentionally produces fruit. Energy scattered produces exhaustion. You are choosing differently now. Archangel Michael reassures you that you do not need to over-prepare. Preparation has already occurred. What is needed now is responsiveness. Responding requires presence. Presence requires trust. You are capable of all three. There may be moments where things feel almost too smooth. When that happens, do not look for problems. Peace is not a trap. Peace is a signal that you are moving in the right direction. You are allowed to enjoy it. You may also notice that your prayers sound different. Less desperation, more clarity, less pleading, more partnership. That shift matters. It reflects maturity in relationship with God. You are no longer asking from fear of lack, but from understanding of purpose. Archangel Michael highlights that your voice carries more authority now, especially in moments of calm. When you speak without needing to convince, people listen differently. Influence grows when force disappears. Some of you will soon be entrusted with decisions that affect others. Do not shrink from that responsibility. You are not being asked to be perfect, only attentive. Wisdom flows where humility remains. There is also a reminder here about rest. Not escape, but intentional rest. Rest keeps you sharp. Exhaustion dulls discernment. Protect your rest as part of your stewardship. Archangel Michael shows that cycles you feared repeating have lost their power. Patterns break when awareness increases. You are no longer operating unconsciously. That alone changes outcomes. You may still encounter moments of uncertainty, but they will not destabilize you. Uncertainty will feel like a pause, not a threat. Pauses are often invitations to listen more closely. There is also an expansion of gratitude happening naturally. You are noticing things you once overlooked. Small mercies, quiet provisions. These moments are not insignificant. They are reminders that care hath been continuous. Archangel Michael assures that what is ahead will not demand a different version of you. You do not need to become someone else to receive what is coming. You are becoming more fully yourself. As this part settles, allow yourself to trust the flow that has begun. You are not being carried by momentum alone, but by intention. Intention guided by wisdom. Wisdom shaped my experience. Remain observant. Remain grounded. Remain open. The unfolding continues, and the next movement will bring instruction that requires courage paired with confidence, not hesitation. My beloved one, this is a decisive stretch in your journey, not because something fragile is happening, but because something solid is being claimed. What you sense now is not anticipation alone. It is ownership forming in your spirit. Heaven is transitioning you from waiting for permission to walking in confidence, and that shift changes how everything responds to you. Archangel Michael reveals that many people receive blessings but never fully step into them. They touch the promise, but they hesitate at responsibility. You are being guided differently. You are being taught how to stand in what has already been granted without shrinking, apologizing, or second-guessing yourself. This matters more than you realize. You may feel moments where old habits try to resurface, overthinking, self-questioning, replaying scenarios in your mind. Do not condemn yourself for noticing this. Awareness means those habits no longer control you. They are echoes, not commands. You get to choose differently now. There is also a strengthening of courage happening quietly. Not boldness for attention, but courage for obedience. Courage to say yes when comfort says no. Courage to say no when familiarity tries to pull you backward. This courage will be required because clarity invites decision. Archangel Michael speaks clearly here. Do not wait for conditions to be perfect. Perfection is not the requirement. Alignment is. If you wait for every variable to settle, you will miss moments designed to shape you. Trust the guidance you are receiving in real time. Some of you will notice that your tolerance for delay has changed. You are no longer restless, but you are also no longer passive. You are alert. Alertness is the posture of readiness. It allows you to move when the moment calls for action without panic. You may also find that people respond to your boundaries differently now. Where resistance once met you, respect begins to appear. This is because boundaries backed by peace carry authority. You are not enforcing them emotionally. You are living them naturally. Archangel Michael highlights something important about confidence. It grows when you honor small instructions. Obedience in small things builds trust for larger ones. Do not overlook simple nudges. They often lead to significant outcomes. This is also a season where your consistency will speak louder than your words. Show up steadily. Speak clearly. Act thoughtfully. You do not need to impress anyone. Integrity leaves a longer impression than intensity ever could. Now pause here with me for a moment. If this message is grounding you, if it is giving language to what you have been sensing, engage with it. Like this message so it continues reaching those who are standing at similar crossroads. Share it with someone who is learning how to move without fear. Leave a comment declaring that you are walking in clarity and courage. And if you have not yet subscribed, this is your moment. Because what is coming next builds directly on what you are receiving now. Stay with this, because the next insight connects everything. Returning to the message, Archangel Michael addresses the fear of visibility. Being seen used to feel risky for you. It came with misunderstanding or pressure. That fear is being healed. Visibility in this season is not exposure. It is alignment. You will be seen by the right people for the right reasons. There is also a refinement happening in how you define success. Success is no longer speed. It is sustainability. Can what you are building last? Can it support others without draining you? Heaven measures success by longevity, not applause. You may soon be asked to commit to something that stretches your capacity slightly. Do not assume that discomfort means misalignment. Growth often feels unfamiliar before it feels natural. Check for peace, not comfort. Peace will be present even when stretching occurs. Archangel Michael reassures you that you are not meant to carry this alone. Support will appear when needed. Wisdom will surface when questions arise. You are not being sent ahead without provision. Provision is already woven into the assignment. Be mindful of how you speak about yourself in this season. Words shape identity. Speak with honesty, but also with hope. You are no longer introducing yourself from a place of survival. You are stepping into a narrative of purpose. There may be moments where you feel the urge to rush outcomes to relieve uncertainty. Resist that urge. Clarity does not come from speed, it comes from alignment. Let things unfold at the pace that keeps your peace intact. Archangel Michael stands as witness to your growth, not as an observer, but as a guardian. What is unfolding now is protected because it is purposeful. As this part settles, remain attentive and grounded. You are not standing at the edge anymore, you are stepping forward. The unfolding continues, and the next movement will bring insight that ties provision directly to your obedience in ways you did not anticipate. My beloved one, you are now entering a phase where understanding replaces assumption. In earlier seasons, you often had to move without clarity, trusting without evidence, believing without confirmation. That kind of faith was necessary then. But now, heaven is allowing understanding to rise alongside trust. This is a gift, not a test. Archangel Michael reveals that what is stabilizing you right now is truth settling into your spirit. Not information, but truth. Truth has weight. It grounds you. It removes the need to constantly question whether you are on the right path. You begin to know, quietly and firmly. You may notice that your emotional reactions are slower, more measured. This is not because you care less, but because you see more. Perspective has expanded. When perspective expands, urgency decreases. You are no longer reacting to moments. You are responding from awareness. There is also a noticeable shift in how you handle uncertainty. Uncertainty no longer feels like danger. It feels like space. Space for instruction. Space for refinement. Space for timing to align. This is maturity. Immature faith panics in uncertainty. Mature faith listens. Archangel Michael speaks of endurance again, but not the kind that survives hardship. This is endurance that sustains success. Sustaining success requires discipline, boundaries, and humility. These qualities are forming naturally in you now. You are no longer forcing them. They are becoming part of who you are. Some of you may reflect on how much you have changed without realizing it. Situations that once overwhelmed you now feel manageable. Conversations that once drained you now feel neutral. This is not because life got easier, but because you became stronger internally. There may be moments where you grieve old versions of yourself. The one who hoped desperately. The one who waited anxiously. The one who tried to prove worth through effort. That grief is valid, but it is also a sign of transition. You are not losing yourself. You are integrating your past into a wiser present. Archangel Michael reassures you that reflection is healthy, but dwelling is not. Honor where you came from, but do not return there mentally. You are being invited forward, not backward. You may also feel a deeper sense of responsibility toward how you use your time. Time feels more valuable now. You are less willing to waste it on things that do not align. This is not impatience, it is stewardship. You understand now that time is one of the greatest resources entrusted to you. There is also an internal permission being granted. permission to enjoy what is good without guilt, permission to rest without explaining, permission to receive without fear of loss. This permission did not come from others. It came from alignment with truth. Archangel Michael highlights discernment again, especially around invitations and opportunities. Not everything that looks good is meant for you. You are not meant to say yes to everything. Discernment will keep your energy focused and your path clear. You may notice that silence feels more comfortable now. You no longer feel the need to fill space with words. Silence is no longer awkward. It is restful. In silence, you hear more clearly. In silence, direction sharpens. There is also a strengthening of trust happening in your relationship with God. Not transactional trust, but relational trust. You are no longer counting outcomes to measure faithfulness. You are resting in the knowing that guidance is continuous. Archangel Michael assures you that what is unfolding next will not require a different level of effort, but a different level of confidence. Confidence rooted in truth, not ego. Confidence that does not announce itself but stands firm. You may encounter moments where others question your calm or your choices. Do not be drawn into explanation. Your peace does not need approval. Those who are meant to understand will. Those who are not do not need access. There is also a reminder here to remain teachable. Growth does not end when stability arrives. Stay open. Stay curious. Wisdom continues to deepen when humility remains active. Archangel Michael stands watch as you integrate this season, not because danger is near, but because transition is sacred. Sacred transitions are guarded. As this part settles, allow yourself to acknowledge the quiet confidence forming within you. This confidence is not loud, but it is steady. It does not rush, but it moves forward without hesitation. You are no longer preparing to begin. You are already moving. And what comes next will confirm that this movement was not imagined, it was guided. My beloved child, this is the closing moment of this message, but it is not the end of what has been set in motion. It is the moment where understanding becomes decision, and decision becomes direction. What heaven has been revealing step by step now settles into a single truth. You were never overlooked. You were being prepared. Archangel Michael stands firm now, not in shock, but in assurance. What once surprised heaven with its speed now stands complete in authority. A miracle written to your name was not an experiment. It was intentional. It was precise. It was time to meet you exactly as you became ready to carry it without losing yourself. This is why the journey felt long. Not because heaven delayed, but because depth takes time. Shallow blessings arrive quickly and leave just as fast. What is arriving to you now carries weight, structure, and endurance. It is built to last, and so are you. You may feel a quiet resolve settling in your spirit. A knowing that you do not need to search anymore. A knowing that the next steps will reveal themselves as you walk. This is not blind faith. This is seasoned faith. Faith shaped by endurance, discernment, and humility. Archangel Michael speaks clearly in this final moment. Do not rush to define how everything will unfold. The details will reveal themselves in layers. Your responsibility is not to control outcomes, but to remain aligned with truth. Alignment will keep you steady even when circumstances change. There may still be moments of uncertainty ahead. That does not contradict this message. Uncertainty does not mean absence of guidance. It means guidance is unfolding progressively. You are not meant to see everything at once. You are meant to trust step by step. You have been released from striving, released from proving, released from explaining. Your life will speak in ways words never could. Let actions, consistency, and peace tell the story. Archangel Michael affirms that protection remains active around you. What is meant for you will reach you. What is not meant for you will lose access. You no longer need to fight every battle. Some battles end simply because you walked away wiser. You are stepping into a season where obedience feels lighter because trust is stronger. Where giving does not feel risky because provision is steady. Where rest is not guilt-driven, but grace-filled. As this message comes to its close, receive this final activation with intention and faith. Type "I walk in divine authority" in the comments if you receive this word fully. Blessing code 5519 is now released, sealing clarity, protection, and sustained provision over your life. And now, let this final transition flow, because this invitation is not separate from the message, it is part of the assignment. I hear God speaking clearly in this moment. What you have received here was never meant to stop with you. As oil flows, it must be poured. When you support this mission through Super Thanks, membership, or PayPal, linked in the description, you are placing seed into fertile ground where souls are being awakened daily. This is the living word in motion, and God declares, "Cast your bread upon the waters, and it will return to you in due season." This is not a suggestion. This is a divine response moment. I release blessing over every giver now. May heaven mark your obedience and multiply it back to you beyond expectation. Act now. So now, step into alignment and support the work God is doing through this message.